Hello, thank you for joining my presentation today. My name is Jason Caudill. I'm an associate professor of business at King University in Bristol, Tennessee in the United States. And my presentation today is the globalization of higher education as part of the fourth industrial revolution. The fourth industrial revolution, 4IR, is touching or will touch every industry. And higher education's not going to escape that. It's absolutely going to be impacted. The interesting thing is higher education is also going to be a key to 4IR's success. Other industries are going to depend on higher education to supply them with what they need to be successful in the fourth industrial revolution. So we're going to discuss the idea and the implications of how these two different things are going to impact each other going forward. So we've had four industrial revolutions. The first three, most of us are pretty familiar with, from steam to electricity to computers and web, to today, which Pinprey's defined as the integration and compounding effects of multiple technologies. The primary technologies there being artificial intelligence, nanotechnology, and biotechnology. Those and other technologies all working together and all supporting each other, making everything faster, faster development, farther development for anything that it touches. The common theme here is that every industrial revolution has ushered in brand new technology, and that technology has replaced human labor, which frees humans to do other things. And as humans can do other things, we come up with more ideas and things accelerate as they go forward. So the impact on higher education really comes down to what humans need to know and what humans need to be able to do. The 4IR industries are going to demand higher skill levels. And the skills that you need are also going to be changing faster than they've ever changed before. That means that both initial and lifelong learnings are going to be incredibly important for 4IR success. So you're not just going to have the traditional model of education and then career. You're going to have people going back to retool maybe every 3 to 5 years over the course of a 40 or 50-year career. Most of this is probably going to happen online, largely because of convenience and accessibility. So far, we've seen 15 years of consecutive growth in online enrollments in the United States. We're seeing that kind of growth internationally, which we'll talk about in just a second. It's going to continue. We're going to see more growth in online education, specifically to service these needs of 4IR. So some of the driving trends we're seeing in education. Growing connectivity between industry and higher education, and also a growing frequency of consortiums of higher education institutions, colleges and universities working together collaboratively. That's happening domestically with multiple home country institutions. We're also seeing international partnerships where universities are creating global consortiums and sharing curriculum and students and research material. The 6 trends that RAB lists, I think, are pretty insightful: democratization, lifelong learning, individualism of education, experimental technology advancement, digitized students, and changes in workforce demand. Number 6 there, the changes in workforce demand, is really the focus of our 4IR discussion. Those other 5 all speak to globalization and online expansion. So for globalization, the trends, the demand for skilled workers across the world, that's driving online global expansion. Now, the key to this is that expanding this way is going to demand greater efficiency. Our traditional model of a single faculty member having a grand total of maybe 100 students across 3 or 4 different classes per 15, 16-week semester, it's not going to serve the demand going forward. To date, what we've used to serve that is the MOOC revolution. And MOOCs have been very successful. They've expanded access. They've provided incredible opportunity to a lot of people around the world that would not have it otherwise. But we also know that they're a long way from perfect. They're lacking in some interactivity and some other things we'd really like to see for good quality online classes. What we're likely to see going forward is AI as sort of the interceding factor there. That you'll have a human instructor leading a course, you'll have a large number of human students, and you'll have an intelligent AI system in between, multiplying the labor of the one faculty member, just like we've seen AI go to work in other industries. I've got a couple of stats here for projected growth of international education online. India, in the next couple of years, is expected to grow from 247 million to 1.96 billion in US dollars. Africa by 2024 is going to grow from 792 million to 1.81 billion. So within 4 years, we're looking at a $4 billion international market just in those two markets. That doesn't include the rest of the world. So the growth is definitely coming. What that growth is going to drive is a collaborative future. We're entering what some authors are referring to as the cyber mental era, where technology is not just a tool anymore, it's integrated into everything we do personally, professionally, for work, for play, for everything. What this drives is speed. Everything is going to happen so much faster. And because things are moving faster, because change is happening faster, everybody is going to have to learn more and learn more frequently. To effectively adapt, we're going to have to see close collaboration between 4IR industries and higher education, and that's going to have to be global. Developed economies need developing economies to build their workforce and contribute to this 4IR movement. We're a global economy. Everybody wins when everybody wins. So this is truly a global growth path that we're seeing going forward. It is going to demand a global solution. So we're going to see unprecedented change in probably the next 5 to 10 years. My personal outlook, I think the first big thing we're going to see is the intersection of 5G networking plus quantum computing plus artificial intelligence is going to give us just an unbelievable capacity to generate, communicate, and process data, to generate information at a scale and a speed that humanity's never seen before. I don't think anybody can predict what we'll do with that much information, other than it's going to change everything. I think what we see in the next 5 years with the confluence of those three technologies alone is going to be bigger in terms of changing our lives than the internet revolution in the late 90s. And that's a huge claim, but I honestly believe we're looking at a change that's that significant. Higher education has been fine through the last 3 industrial revolutions. It's changed. It has added new majors. It's changed the format of education. In the last generation, we've gone online. We've done things along the way that have adapted to what industry demands and what society needs. Higher education is going to do that again in response to 4IR. It will happen. The challenge is going to be driving those changes and driving them at the right pace. Higher education traditionally has not been really agile. It needs to be going forward. The change is going to happen more quickly. Opportunity exists for institutions that are able to move fast enough and be proactive and take advantage of this. I think inside of a decade, you're going to see winners and losers in terms of higher education institutions defined by whether or not they can pivot and meet the new demands of 4IR. Thank you, everybody, for joining my quick presentation here. My contact information is with the conference materials. I welcome anyone. Please email me, look me up, add me on LinkedIn. Would welcome the chance to continue the conversation, to learn about what you're doing in your research. And who knows, maybe we can collaborate ourselves going forward. Thank you very much.